responses to Dan. And again, I find this interesting because this is what the debate should be. And the House Progressive Caucus, again, deserves a lot of credit for at least saying, this is what I believe in, this is what we need to do. That is sorely lacking in the White House, because this president doesn't take a stand on anything. And truthfully, the progressives are disappointed in him because he won't. My view is really simple. You can't tax your way into a balanced budget. You can't and you shouldn't. I believe that it's our money, it's not the government's money. And I believe you could tax, you could steal 100%. You could steal 100% of what every millionaire in this country makes, and you wouldn't do a thing for the deficit, number one. And actually, you know, history does teach us some things. President Clinton, God bless his soul, actually cut the capital gains tax because he understood that when you cut the capital gains tax, you increase government revenue, and government revenues did increase. History tells us that when historically we cut taxes, and also when we simplify the tax code, we actually increase government revenues because the economy grows, you create more taxpayers, and yes, those wealthy Americans begin to invest and build businesses. So it's a good thing. It's an honest disagreement. The reason the country's broke has nothing to do with our tax rate. It has everything to do with the fact that we spend a lot more every year than what we take in, period. And that's what needs to change. Yes, ma'am.
To answer something you said about increase the rich should pay more, I disagree with you. We have 47% of people who do not pay taxes at all. And I think we should start having some of them pay taxes as well. Because we pay a lot of money for welfare, we pay a lot of money for food stamps, and I think that should stop. We've got to start making people work for what they want.
Thank you. Go ahead.
With all due respect,
Let Dan finish. Go ahead.
with all due respect, everybody pays taxes. Consider sales taxes, property taxes. Everybody pays taxes.
Again,
How about corporate welfare? How about the corporations who pay no taxes?
absolutely. And good point, because that's actually what I was going to say. History tells me, and I think history tells us, that if you want the wealthy to pay more, and you want big corporations to pay more, what you got to do is simplify the tax code. The reason the GEs of the world right now pay zero, the reason wealthy Americans can pay a lot less, is because we have an idiotic, stupid, complicated tax code. So GE, unlike you and me, they can hire all the accountants and lawyers they need to find every loophole under the sun to come out and pay nothing in taxes. So if you want GE to pay more, and I do, if you want big corporations to pay more and wealthy individuals to pay more, simplify the tax code, get rid of all these deductions and loopholes that they are able to take advantage of, broaden the base, and they will pay more. I agree with you. It's outrageous.
But Joe, the bottom line is, all tax rate hikes on businesses get passed on to consumers. So it's a never-ending cycle. So they pay more taxes. Guess what? Then we pay more taxes, and our prices go up, and they spend all the money.
But what I want to do is lower their rate. Like our corporate tax rate right now is the highest in the industrial world. Lower it. Thank you. Absolutely. I would love to move toward like a 15% flat tax on everyone. Get rid of deductions and loopholes. One simple flat tax for everyone. I want people to be able to keep more of their own money. The problem is we got a lot of liberals and progressives who keep thinking if we raise people's taxes, you're going to increase government revenue. You don't. You don't. Because they take it out on all of us. Eventually they will move, and you limit what government takes in. What our progressive friends don't understand is if you really want them to pay more, simplify the code, lower their taxes, make it more transparent. Next thought issue, yes ma'am.
I'd like to thought on Social Security.
On Social Security.
I had a stroke a year or so ago, and it wasn't Medicare, and supplemental income I would be broke.
Here's where I am. What's your first name?
Barbara.
Barbara, thank you. We talk about the Ryan plan, and Democrats are going to try to scare you when it comes to the Ryan plan. Understand a couple things. Even the Republicans said in their plan, if you're 55 or older, and I don't know if that's you, Barbara, okay, if you're 55 or older, nothing changes when it comes to Medicare and Social Security.
I think about my kids.
Right, so here's the question, Barbara. So you're not going to be impacted by any of this. We know that your kids and your grandkids won't be able to benefit from Medicare and Social Security unless we reform the programs. Are you willing to have us look into reforming the programs so they're around? Okay, so that's what we got to do. We got to have a real grown-up conversation. And it's hard because politicians are so scared. All they want to do is get reelected. You know what? It doesn't bother me. I'm going to ask you and me and Timothy and all of us to grow up. We all got to grow up. We've all asked too much of government. We now have government taking care of way too many of us. And now we're at the point where government can't do what it should be doing, which is taking care of the truly needy. So for people under 55, we got to come up with some reform to Medicare so it will be around. And that's all Republicans have said. Democrats and the president haven't said anything. That's irresponsible. And by the way, it's more than irresponsible. If you're President Obama or you're Tammy Duckworth, imagine this. Joe Walsh and Tammy Duckworth a week ago were in front of the Chicago Tribune editorial board. And the Chicago Tribune editors grilled us for 45 minutes. Mr. Walsh, Miss Duckworth, you understand that Medicare is going to be gone in 12 years. You understand that it's the biggest, fastest growing piece of the deficit. The debt, you understand that it's going to be gone. What are you prepared to do about it? You know what Tammy Duckworth's answer was? I'm not ready to look at it. I'm not ready to discuss it. That's not... If you're not ready to discuss the biggest, fastest growing program in this country, if you're not ready to take a look at something that will be gone in 12 years, Miss Duckworth, you're not ready to be a congressperson. So I said, look, in this country right now, and Dan, you know this, we have 10,000 Americans who retire every day in this country. And you know what, Miss Duckworth? We're not dying when we're 62 or 3 or 4. Thank God, we're living into our 90s. This is all a good thing. But as a country, we need to have an adult conversation about how we pay for all of this so that it will be around for future generations. That's what the Democrats are afraid to talk about. Barbara, don't let them try to scare you this year, because I'm not going to run away from it. I love it when these guys come out. Heck yeah, I'm proud of the plan. Show me Obama's plan. Show me Duckworth's plan, but Tammy can't even discuss it yet.
What's the Medicare budget?
Huh?
What's the amount of money budgeted for Medicare?
Well, we know it's going up daily. Right now it's probably somewhere between 500 and 600 billion a year. It's the fastest growing piece of the budget. The fastest growing.
Well, how much of that has to do with the baby boomers? That's the biggest population coming on the retirement age, and then the stealing from Social Security, the borrowing of the money, and
you're right.
For other projects.
You nailed it. This is simple math. 10,000 baby boomers retire every day. That's been going on, bless you, that's been going on for a few years, and that's going to be going on for a number of long, long years. So it is simple math.
You talk about reforming Medicare and these entitlements. How about preserving it? How about making cuts in other areas of government, like the military-industrial complex, and helping the people out?
Let me ask you a
Republicans
question.
come up with the same thing.
No.
Cut the entitlements, give the ultra-wealthy tax breaks. You look at Romney, in his tax returns, he released his 09, but not his 010, 011, finally did, paying
Oh, what difference does that
14%.
make?
And he's got
Let him
money.
finish.
He's got money offshore,
Let
in the
him
Cayman
finish.
Islands,
Okay.
and other countries. He knows the system.
A few
and he's
points.
using the
Well,
system.
and again, this goes to the point, my friend.
And the ultra rich, they not only do they invest, but they hoard too.
Take all
They
their money,
save
wouldn't
a
make a
lot of money.
No, here's the disagreement. This is simple math. Both Republicans and Democrats cling to their sacred cows. I'll grant you that. Republicans tend to cling to defense. Don't touch defense. That's not the kind of Republican I am. And if you look at my voting record, that's not where I am. I think we should be home from Afghanistan tomorrow. I've been saying that for over a year and a half. So I don't cling to defense, okay? Democrats tend to cling to these entitlement programs. Here's the problem. It is simple math. You could abolish the Defense Department tomorrow in totality. You could tax every millionaire. You could take every dime from every millionaire in this country. Respectfully, if you looked at the math, you wouldn't do a thing to the debt or the deficit. You wouldn't do a thing to the trajectory we're on. By far, and it dwarfs everything. Get rid of all the loopholes. Get rid of the oil subsidy loop. I mean, get rid of everything. I mean, I'd get rid of the Federal Department of Education tomorrow. There's a lot we can do. Get rid of all the ag subsidies. And by the way, I voted to get rid of them all. I'm with you. Get rid of corporate welfare till the cows come home. All things we should do. But the big elephant in the room is causing our trajectory to be like this. So we have to address Medicare and Social Security and Medicaid, by the way, or they won't be around. We have to. So to just say don't do anything about it, again, is to be beyond irresponsible. Everything, you nailed it. Everything's on the table. But this is the big one, and it is simple math. Thank God 10,000 of us are retiring every day. Thank God we're living into our 90s. But fair's fair. President Obama, and maybe Dan, maybe this is where you guys are. President Obama believes in government-run healthcare. He wants everybody on government-run healthcare. That is a viewpoint. I don't think that's at all workable, effective, and I think will bankrupt the country. But it's a viewpoint. But we got to have this discussion, and we're afraid to. Yes, sir.
I don't think that the problem is with taxes for a lot of it. I think it's what's spent with the tax money once it gets to Washington, D.C. That's number one. Number two, there aren't going to be quite as many people retiring if they're relying on investment income in their dividends, and you're going to tax them at a higher rate.
Look, and this goes to your viewpoint. I'm not like, I wish Mitt Romney would be prouder of the fact that he is darn successful. He's become unbelievably successful, and I want you all to be that as well. Okay? Whether you're wealthy, middle class, whatever you are, I want you all to keep more of the money you make. Okay? I want that because that's philosophically what I believe. It's your money. Here's another one, guys. When you die, I don't care how wealthy or poor you are, when you die, that's your money. The government shouldn't get a dime of that. There should be no such thing called the estate tax. That should be your money to give to your kids, keep in your business, give to whatever charity you want to give to. I wish Republicans would speak stronger to this. When George, hey, George, the guy that owns this business, he's probably going to be around another 50 years, but if and when he dies one day, every dime he has is in this business. He shouldn't have to sell this business, which is what too many of them have to do, to pay the estate taxes. That's terrible. But understand, from President Obama's perspective and Tammy Duckworth's perspective, it's really not your money. It's their money, which is why it's so easy for them to always raise your taxes. And somebody said it, oh my God, would I, first of all, I never want to raise taxes, but even if I did, would I trust that if we raise taxes, that the government would actually use that to bring down